Hey everyone, Joe DiChiera here, Director of Education for K-Motion, coming to you with a video on how we're going to control path and face angle at impact by targeting the upper body rotation at impact as well as our lead wrist flexion and extension. So just some quick housekeeping things. So if we set up to the golf ball fairly neutral, the more open I get my upper body by the time the club gets to the ball, the club path is going to want to move a little bit more to the left. Adversely, if I get to impact and my torso is a little bit more square, or in the most extreme cases even closed, that path is going to want to move out to the right a little bit more. So you can start to control a player's club path by helping them understand where their upper body is at impact and where you want to get it to control those numbers. Now, wrist angles, if we talk about extension, okay, or cupping of the lead wrist, that's going to open up the club face a little bit more, as well as flexion or bowing of that lead wrist is going to close the club face a little bit more. So you can do this in a number of ways. So especially when we're talking about wrist angles, you can start to work on a player's grip to help strengthen it a little bit if they can't quite get a little bit more flexion in the golf swing. But for today's purposes, we're going to talk about more of a neutral grip and then getting that player to have a little bit more flexion on the way down to try and get that club face a bit more closed. So let me just go ahead and hit a shot here. So we'll take a look at what those numbers come out to. So I had 26 degrees of torso rotation at impact, and I had a 3-degree to the right path. I had negative 19 degrees, so that's 19 degrees of extension by the time I got to impact, and my club face angle was positive 1.5. So if I wanted to just target to get my path to move a little bit more to the left, let's say 3 is a little bit on the high end for what I like to see, and I'm trying to hit more of a cut. So I'm going to go ahead and set up. And I'm going to try and get a feel to get my upper body rotation more open by the time I get to impact. Okay, so let's see if I was able to do that. Okay, so 31, so a little bit more open, and the path went from 3 to 2.4. So you can see not a lot of movement there, but I am working in the right direction to get my upper body a little bit more open and shift that path more to the left. So now if I want to go ahead and target my club face with my lead wrist, you can see my wrist flexion and extension at impact was about the same, and so is my club face, within 0.3 of a degree. So let me go ahead and make a swing here where I'm going to feel like my lead wrist is going to go into a little bit more flexion in my transition to see if I can shift that face a little bit more shut. So we'll see what that flexion is. So I cut it in half down to -10. You can see my face went all the way to -6, which is definitely overdoing it. But you can see just by targeting what my lead wrist is doing. Now I have a stronger grip, so that's why you saw my face close so much, because I moved it 10 degrees more into flexion, but it changed my face angle by about 7 degrees. So when you're working with your players, if you want to control face angle, okay, start to talk to your players about lead wrist flexion extension, and if you want to help them control their club path, start to talk to them about how to get more open or less open by the time they get to impact.